I just wanted to summarize the glaring lapses that took place that led to this terrible, terrible tragedy in which 121 people and counting have died. Number one, approval for 80,000 people to gather, but 2.5 lakh people finally turned up. Please tell me why Bhole Baba, who claims to be some kind of spiritual guru, why did he not stop the satsang? Why did his team not stop the satsang and say, we cannot hold this satsang because we are only authorized for so many people? Did they not have the brains to do that and not risk the lives of their devotees? Number two, exit and entry points were inadequately marked or not marked at all. Why would they need clear markings? Because these are, useless, expendable, poor people, right? Why have signage that could finally save their lives? Number three, lakhs of people, 2.5 lakhs of people were crammed into a space that was authorized for 80,000 people. You can imagine what that turned into. Number four, no emergency route had been established. Please, for a moment, viewer, think of how many people 2.5 lakhs is. 2.5 lakhs is 250,000 people. Number five, infrastructure and safety failures were obvious. Everyone can guess that happened. There were insufficient or non-existent medical teams on site for 2.5 lakh people. There was no medical facility. The required number of ambulances, which was at least 5 for the authorized 80,000 people, were not provided. They were not even there for the approved number of people there. Insufficient coolers and fans for the crowd amidst terrible heat. Administrative and logistical failures, because once the tragedy struck, people ran helter-skelter, not knowing what to do. The organizers failed to manage the overcrowding or even preempt it from spreading. Minimal, negligible deployment of administrative forces, which is why it took a very long time for things to get under control. Inadequate arrangement for food and drinks. Nobody knew where to go. There was no barricading on the route used by the main convoy of that so-called Baba, Bholenath or whatever his name is. Ground needed leveling. It was not done. That obviously aggravated the fact that this stampede took place. There was no help by organizers during the stampede, which basically meant that this Bhole Baba and his team allowed people to die by omission and commission. Heads must roll in the UP government, heads must roll in the bureaucracy, in the administration, in the police, whatever it is. But don't forget that Bhole Baba, who claims to be a spiritual guru, looking at all these people, it is impossible that he couldn't have known that he was addressing a crowd of people more than 3 times the authorized number. And therefore, the blood of 121 people is on his hands as well. And he's not been named in the FIR, and no one knows where he is. Let's go straight to the site of the stampede right now. India Today's Amit Bharadwaj and Shreya Chatterjee are both with me live from Hathras and UP. They were among the first journalists to reach the spot. Amit, quickly coming to you first. You're standing at the very spot where the stampede took place. It's incredible to think of how 80,000 people were approved by the administration for this satsang, and over 3 times that number finally turned up, and this so-called Bhole Baba and his so-called team did nothing about it. The blood is on their hands as well.
Right, Chef. You and I have been to a lot of political congregations for that matter and understand the kind of capacity that is usually built at a crowd, any place where such gatherings are to happen. Why I'm saying that, I'll just request Mridul to pan the camera to let our viewers decide. This is the space which was, prepared, quote unquote, to hold 80,000 people on the papers, and this is the authorities, the administration who had given clearance to this particular spot for gathering of 80,000 people. Now just look at the map of the entire venue where the stampede happened. Even with just 80,000 people, this was a place inviting all sorts of disaster to unfold. And it was just God's grace that it was not raining the way it is today. Otherwise, the situation that unfolded yesterday would have been even worse. There's no preparation for the crowd exit. There's only one gate that you can see here. And this place does not look like something that was even prepared to hold 80,000 people, let alone the much increased number of 2.5 lakh as being reported by the administration in the internal letter that has been shot out to the government. Now, when Mridul will pan the camera, what happened was when this crowd was moving towards the highway,
Yes.
this is the upwards terrain where they started to slip. And I'll request Mridul to just come little bit forward. I want to bring this particular visual shift to our viewers.
Yes.
These are 3 slippers still lying out here at the spot where stampede happened. This blue slipper looks like possibly of a 1-year-old or 2-year-old. I don't think anything older than that. This one looks like a child wearing a 4 to 5-year-old and possibly of somebody from the family of women. And these are lots of slippers which have been left at this place as a witness to what unfolded yesterday. The complete callousness of the organizers is these slippers are actually proof of that. No exit plan, no preparation, let alone, as you were also mentioning.
Truly heart-rending, Amit. That image that you've just shown us is heartbreaking, because that is all that is left behind. A few pieces of footwear. I'm sure they don't even have pairs. One is somewhere, the other is somewhere else, probably lost. And the owners of those footwear have either already been cremated or they are in a morgue somewhere. But the man who was overseeing this satsang, Bhole Baba, is nowhere to be found. And I want to bring Shreya in on that. Shreya, I know I'm joined by millions of people watching who are wondering, A, how come Bhole Baba is not named in the FIR? And secondly, how come he's disappeared? One would have thought that for something like this, he would need to be available for questioning or for, any other purposes by the special investigation team. He should be available. How come nothing is happening with him, Shreya?
Well, absolutely, Shiv. Very pertinent question, because 24 hours have passed and not a single arrest has been made, where 121 lives have been claimed. Now, talking about Bhole Baba, who goes by the name Narayan Sakar Hari, he allegedly has not been named, because this is a question I myself asked Yogi Adityanath when he was addressing the press conference, to which he responded that because the thing was organized by certain committee members, it was apt for them to register the FIR against the committee members. However, when the investigation progresses, he does not deny the possibility of the Baba being named in the process of the investigation. So that is the response that is coming in from the administration. But A, we have not seen any arrest being made, and also no action against the administration, because we might just put the entire blame on the committee. It's also the responsibility of the local intelligence unit to ensure and preempt such incidents. They know that this Baba attracts so many followers time and again, not the first time. During COVID also, he's broken similar violations. Even then, he was continued to operate. And this is definitely a failure on the part of the administration. B, when the bodies were lying in the ditch for good some time, I've spoken with a lot of family members of the deceased. They say no quick response team arrived. There were no vehicles, barely 2 policemen to attend them. So there's also a response failure that happened that led to the tragedy that costed 121 lives.
Shreya, very, very quickly, since you cover crime, you cover law and order, I want to know your view as a reporter. By not naming him in the FIR right off the bat, isn't that immediately a red flag? By not naming Bhole Baba, isn't that an immediate indication of gentle treatment?
Well, absolutely, Shiv. This is an immediate gentle treatment. Also, when this man is not someone who has a clean past. We already have details of the fact that he has FIRs that's been registered in the past, of his alleged miracles that he claims to be doing. Despite that, these people who've been playing with the emotions of innocent, naive people, why are they allowed to get away time and again? Why are these godmen allowed to function with blanket immunity?
Amit and Shreya, thanks very much for getting us those, uncensored inputs.